Hey y'all, Ramdino here, coming at you again for the Appalachian Trail community news, through hiker update, and trail information. Well, Trail Days was this past weekend. What a hoot that was. As usual, it was so great to see the big gathering of the hiker community there in Damascus, Virginia. And thanks a lot for everybody that came up and spoke to me, and we could just talk trail and find out how everybody's doing. So good to see folks in the hiker community and the real world, people that we talk to maybe on social media, but to be able to connect there in person was really neat. So thanks a lot for that. Folks came by the campsite or just came up to me. Thanks a lot for doing that. That really just makes Trail Days what it's all about, just the hiker community getting together. So greatly appreciate that and look forward to doing it again in a year. So until then, let's go ahead and talk trail and find out what's going on with everybody out there. So Patriarch, he has made it to Dragon's Tooth. He had to get off for his grandson's graduation. Congratulations to him and his whole family. And then he'll be back on trail heading north. Ranger, he continues. Didn't give me an update of where he was at on the trail, but he did say that everything's quiet on the trail. It seems like everybody has got off trail to go to Trail Days where he's at, and he has walked for hours without seeing anyone. And he also said over the past 2 weeks he's learned why they call the AT the wet trail. So obviously that's because it's been raining for like 2 weeks straight. So anyway, we'll get an update later on about where Ranger is continuing and where he's at on the trail next week. Blue, he's made it to the James River footbridge. Said camping restrictions from the bridge until 10 miles southbound on Petite Gap or on the trail are still in effect. Of course, we'll talk about that in just a minute. OG, he has crossed the 1,300-mile mark. So he's a homeboy, literally, from my hometown. And he is happy to be out of Roxylvania and into New Jersey. Said New Jersey has been beautiful so far, and the hiking has been great. So it doesn't matter if you're hiking through the middle of a cow pasture and nothing but cow patties hiking on. It will be great, I'm sure, on your feet compared to what he just came through there in Roxylvania. But in any case, he says New Jersey is flat. So I was not aware that the trail had any place that was flat. It's been amazing so far, and he says so much better than Roxylvania. So, and he's got some new kicks as well, so that's helping things out too. Ozoner, he has made it to Duncannon, and he had said he had ate at the door, had a great dinner, and cold beer there. What more could you ask for? Al and Tongo, they are started from Springer Mountain, and they'll be doing a modified flip-flop. So they're going to hike to Harper's Ferry, then skip up to Katahdin, and then come back down to Harper's Ferry and finish the stuff that they missed in between. Tupac, he has made it to Rockfish Gap, going into Waynesboro there to resupply, and then he'll be hitting the shanties. Topo, of course, he's well into Maine, and he is well on his way to Katahdin. Don't know if he made it to Monson yet or not, but I asked him last week. I said, "Hey, what if you get to Katahdin?" And Katahdin usually opens in June, so this is May. We're coming up, getting really close, but it's usually maybe mid-June or so. So don't know what the conditions are up there right now in Baxter State Park, but I asked him, what if you get there and it's closed? And he said, sadly, he's not going to be able to finish. He's going to have to leave because he has a hard stop date of whatever it is in June when he has to get back and start work. So that would really be unfortunate to get all the way up to Baxter State Park and not been able to finish. I believe I would find a way. Not saying do anything illegal, but that would be tough. He also said that he was glad he made it through the Whites in one piece in general. So, of course, when he went through the Whites, there was a lot of snow. He was doing some post holing and stuff like that. So, in any case, hopefully it will open up, Topo, before you get there, or at least no later than the day of you get there, so you can make and finish your through hike. Wrong way, she has hit Connecticut. Holly from Backpacking Bible has hit the trail in Harper's Ferry, and she has made it past her first 100 miles. Frodo, he is past Great Barrington. Ron, 78, he is north of Waynesboro. Hiram Hikes, he's past the 800 mark and north of Waynesboro. Rock and Roll is in New Jersey. He has left the trail just for a few to get back to do some work, just a week or so, and then he is going to be getting back on trail and continuing north. Oz the Hiking Sailor, he is at the bottom end of the roller coaster, and he says he's going to jog or run through the roller coaster. So his hiking buddy Thumper, who's hiked with him for years, is going to support him through that, and he'll be in Harper's Ferry before you know it. Dos Entrades and Sugga J, they have made it to Bland, Virginia, just shy of the 600 mark. Cobweb Rose and her family, they have made it to the Triple Crown. They've actually done part of the Triple Crown, so they did Dragon's Tooth. Came on back down for trail days. Sorry I missed you, Cobweb Rose. I would have loved to meet you in the real world. But in any case, they'll be getting back on trail after trail days and heading north. Jersey, he is out of Virginia. He came down for trail days. We'll be getting back on, and he should be in Harper's Ferry probably today. Soup Cup has made it to the halfway point. That's awesome. Congratulations to him. Boston, he is hiking with OG, not my OG, but a different OG. And here's a picture of his OG climbing out of Palmerton. Stinger has crossed into New York, so that is awesome. Thanks a lot to all those folks that updated me there. If you're out there on the trail or through hiking and you want to update me, then you can do so through different links down below. IGs on Instagram, Insta Message works good, or Facebook works good, and email works good. All of those are down below. So please, if you'd like to be a part of my update each week, go there and do that. If you want to keep up with my update each week, then subscribe to this channel. Give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment. Love your comments. Love all the comments y'all leave and answering those, the ones that ask questions. And so that's just awesome for you folks that do that, and we can communicate back and forth like that. So that's pretty neat, and I appreciate every one of you. Sassafras Jim, he is off the trail. He made it to Hot Springs, and he says that's where the trail has to end for him. Says the knee on the leg that he broke has been bothering him more and more, and he wanted to go check it out and make sure it didn't damage the knee when he broke that fibula. So he broke it this year, got off trail for a while, rehabbed it, got back on trail, and now that knee on that side's giving him a fit. So he just wanted to thank everybody for their kind and supportiveness that all the people he's run into this year have done for him. And that's what this trail really gives out. This community on this trail, the Appalachian Trail, really gives back to the folks that are out there, the thru hikers, and even section hikers for that matter, but particularly the thru hikers. And so that's what makes it the People's Trail. Bear Magnet, he has made it to Fontana, and he has had to get off due to being assaulted on the trail. So that really sucks. For some reason this year, we seem to have more of those than we have in other years. Maybe I've just heard more about it. So that really sucks that happened to Bear Magnet. He did go and try to make a report on it. Unfortunately, the local authorities there in Fontana said it wasn't worth their time to come out and do a police report due to the transient nature of the Appalachian Trail. So, and the really bad part about it is that he zeroed there in Fontana, and the hiker that assaulted him actually came into the restaurant in Fontana while he was there. So, and so had the police come and taken that report, then while he was at the restaurant, he could have called them and got them back there to let them do something about the guy that had assaulted him. So sucks that the police there, law enforcement in Fontana, whatever that is, county probably didn't see the necessity to come and do anything. He said that he did call the rangers in the Great Smoky Mountain National Park, and they actually took down his information and said they would distribute it out to their trail runners so they could let people know to be on the lookout for that person. So that really sucks that the law enforcement there in Fontana didn't do it, but thanks a lot to the folks there in Great Smoky Mountain National Park that did it. Bear Magnet's off, and I hate that happened, and he had to get off because of that. Stretch, he is off due to a possible soft tissue muscle tear along the bone. So he got off, went to the doctor, and they have semi-diagnosed it with that. Going to send him to rehab, and then but he probably will not be back on trail this year. And then Fresh Ground and the Leapfrog Cafe, he is off trail as well due to an altercation with another trail angel. So apparently they were fussing about who had the best grilled cheese sandwich out there, and then things went really south. Fresh Ground wound up getting impaled by this tiny round spatula. And so fortunately, it only went like 1.5 inches into his skull, so it didn't hit his brain, and so there's no brain damage or anything like that. So he was able just to pop it right out and put some keto tape on it, and he was good to go. He said that he's decided though that due to that, and also uh, that he wants to be more earth friendly, so he's scaling back the Leapfrog Cafe. Want to do that some, and now he's putting it on the back of this bicycle. And he found that when he got rid of his ego and pulled that out of all his gear, that he didn't need the room in the van anymore. So everything fit into this little box on the back of his bicycle. So I thought that was pretty good. So that's all a joke, folks. If you know Fresh Ground, you know me and Fresh Ground. We're good friends, and Fresh Ground has no ego. He's not exactly the humblest person on the trail, but he's no egomaniac either. And he does so much for hikers out there. So what Fresh Ground is actually doing, he's taking some time off from the trail, taking a vacation from what he does for the hiking community out there, and he is biking across North Carolina from Manio to Murphy and back. And this is kind of retracing his crosswalk that where he hauled a cross, a huge cross, several years ago, all the way across. I know that's a lot of crosses across North Carolina on his journey. That was his crosswalk journey, and so he drug it all the way across North Carolina and brought it back. And so now he's retracing those steps. He will be getting back on trail. Right now, the Fresh Ground and the Leapfrog Cafe, they are in fundraising mode. So for the Sobo season. So it takes money for him to do what he needs to do. Of course, he's a 501c3, so anything you contribute to those fundraising efforts is tax deductible, and you can go give that to help out the hiker community. Those Sobos coming through, of course, he always feeds Nobos as well when they have the great collision of the Sobos and the Nobos coming through. So he's going to be feeding Nobos as well, and then, of course, he'll feed section hikers and anybody that walks up. So thanks a lot for everything you do, Fresh Ground, and appreciate that, and just for you being who you are out there. If you'd like to give to him, you can go to his Facebook page, Leapfrog Cafe. He's got all the means there of how you can give to him, and then also I'll leave a link to his Facebook page, and if I can link some of those links to his fundraising, I'll leave that down in the description section as well. So some other news that we got out there, Whispers, our northern correspondent, he says that the mid-elevation AMC huts in the White Mountains, they are open for caretaker season. And so that would be Greenleaf Hut, Gale Head Hut, and Mizpah Hut. And the rest of them will be opening up on 6/1, Lonesome Lake, Zealand, and Carter Notch huts. Right now they're still in winter mode, but they'll be opening back up for folks to utilize on June 1st. Said general conditions up there are usual for late spring. The snowpack is melting with occasional periodic freezes that are going on up there. And then I also saw Mount Washington. They had a bunch of snow up there. The road up to Mount Washington is open, and of course the trail is there. But of course, if it's conditions like this, you may be doing some post holing up there to Washington. So Washington they've gotten snow up there on that summit every month out of the year for many years. So in any case, that is the conditions up there now, and of course those will be improving. There are two shelters in northern Connecticut that are closed for rebuilding. That's the Riga and the Brassy Brook shelter. Those are at Nobo miles 1512 and 1513. So they were supposed to be tearing them down last year. They just got around to do it, so they've torn them down, and they're going to be putting those back up. The privies and camping around them are still open, but camping in privy is closed from 10 to 5 when the construction will be going on up there. And so after 5, you can go ahead and utilize the privy and utilize the camping area. But if you get there before 5, then, and most people this time of year are going to keep on hiking, they're not going to stop at 5. So of course the 10 a.m. thing could be a problem for people like Disco, who she may not be up before 10 o'clock. So that could be a problem. But most people get up before then, so there probably won't be too many problems for folks out there. And then due to reports of aggressive bear activity, we've had another trail closure up there. The trail there is closed to camping from Petite's Gap Road to the James River Footbridge, and that's Nubbo Mile 77.7.2 to 787.1. So Petite's Gap to the footbridge, it crosses over the James River there. So that's closed camping, and that includes Match Creek Shelter, and that's at Nubbo's Mile 785.1. I'm going to be kind of transitioning when I get my information in from thru hikers out there. So typically I've been asking for them around Friday or Saturday, but I'm going to start putting my video together and actually filming it earlier. So if you could get those in the first of the week to the middle of the week, your trail updates, I'd greatly appreciate that. It takes a lot for me to put this together, and it usually takes up a lot of my weekend. So it's getting to be nice weather. The days are longer. I got to get work done around the house. Them chickens ain't going to take care of themselves down there. And Coda, my dog, you usually see running around. Me and him got to play, and then my wife just got a doodle. So I guess I'll be playing with the doodle dog too. But in any case, I'd like to have my weekends back, and so be doing it during the week. So send me those updates in then. I'm still going to be, right now the channel will be be going online on Sundays, but I'm considering doing that on like Fridays or Saturdays. So I'd like to get some comments from you folks out there that watch it on a regular basis. How do you feel about that? Would Friday or Saturday work for you just as well as a Sunday? A lot of you I ran into at trail days, and even I've run into you before, and you say, hey, we'll look for you Sunday night. Well, I don't want to disappoint you, but if Friday or Saturday works for you too, that'd be great. All right, folks, that's all I've got this week. Leave some comments down below. As always, appreciate you, and we'll see you out here.